This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by 88 Films, but check them out. They're pretty cool. Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, and yes, you know I was a teenage film snob. You've heard it every week, and that intro is not going to change. By now, you will know the drill. Every week, I sit down with a friend or family member, as you would have learned on the last episode, and talk about movies with them. Tonight's guest needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. He is featured on every podcast I've ever done. He was there on Chwoodcast almost 10 years ago. He did an episode of Past the Remote as well. He might not have done That's What She Said, but that's okay because he wasn't a big Office guy now. But I know since then he has watched it all, which is great. I've known this week's guest for almost 30 years. We've been friends since we were 6 years old, and we have a deep history of film together. We used to hang out on weekends and go to the video store and play video games and watch horror movies. He actually introduced me to horror films, and we even worked in a video store as well. We played guitars in a band together. We wanted to open our own video store together. Honestly, there's a million stories that we can tell, and we're only really going to scratch the surface, I think, this week. Now he's a very successful entrepreneur. He created the games company Deadleaf Games. He released a couple of years ago Nom Nom Apocalypse and is now working on Junklands. Please welcome to the show, Josh Sacco.
Hey, folks.
I give this big intro, and then you're like, hey.
Hey, I don't know about successful entrepreneur. I will just say startup.
I think if you get to work for yourself in the field that you want to, that's success to me. Like, you don't need to be, Jeff Bezos, multi-billionaire to be successful. I think if you can pay the bills doing the thing that you love, then that's success.
Yeah. When you said introduced to horror films, I just remembered that movie Ghost Ship. And then that we were sitting there watching that person get cut in half, and then I can't remember if we got scared or whether we laughed. I can't remember, but
we were laughing our heads off because there was that weird bit where the line goes through someone and their shirt falls down, but the rest, it's so weird. You did, because I remember for the longest time we used to hang out, and there were four of us in our group when we were teenagers and stuff. And I did not like horror films, did not want to watch them. And you guys were like, no, it's a rite of passage. As teenagers, we have to watch horror films. And I think the first thing you guys ever showed me was Tremors. And it was just because you're like, look, it's a comedy. And then we graduated to, I want to say, The Faculty, which I was talking about to a friend the other day, because I haven't seen it in a while, but it's a great movie. And then eventually, by the time I got into horror, by the time I finally graduated to horror, you guys were over it. You was like, I wouldn't care about horror anymore. And I was like, no. But it stuck with me.
I remember Final Destination being a thing for a while.
Well. I don't know if you remember this. We watched Final Destination. It was the three or four of us in the lounge room at our friend's house watching it. And when the best friend gets choked by the string in the bathtub, I literally got to my feet, and you guys were like, what's wrong? And I was so scared. I was getting ready to run out the room. That first movie is genuinely terrifying. The other ones are just gore fest, which is great. But that first one, even still gives me chills.
Yeah.
We as I was saying, there's a long history with us because we grew up together in primary school and then secondary school as well. But I think my favorite memories, at least movie related memories, is when we worked in the video store. Shout out to Video Easy Killer Downs. With the Levent Besnick crew.
I felt like I was in a sitcom working there.
It was the most dangerous job I've ever worked. And here's why. Because you and I were 17, and they were like, right, it's Saturday night, the store closed at 11. There's no legal guardians here. Here are the keys, lock up. And it was just you and me. And Keilor Downs, for those who don't know, isn't a terrible area, but it does neighbour St Albans. Where the rumors were for years that St Albans was so dangerous people burnt down the police station. Now that I think about it as an adult, probably not true. But all I remember is, we just get KFC and take snacks from the snack bar and just listen to heavy metal and watch movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that we're the reason that video store shut down, but we certainly didn't help.
Yeah, I got one story. I can't remember if I told you or not, but I remember like there's this whole big late fee issue, and this DVD had been going for like ages, and I called this house, and this woman who didn't speak English picked
I
up.
remember this. This is not your shining moment, but yeah.
No, it's terrible. It's a terrible story. And then they just hung up, and so I called back. No, I called the secondary number, and they're like, no, this person has it. So I called back. Um, anyway, like I was getting frustrated because I couldn't deal with this thing, and people were just mucking around the phones. Anyway, I got through. She was trying to like they kept just mucking around, and I was getting frustrated. And then someone else got the phone, and they're like, "Oh, this person doesn't understand." And I said something really terrible, like I was like, "Well, if they don't understand, then they shouldn't probably answer the phone." And then this guy's like, "That's my wife we're talking about. How
Yeah.
dare you say that? I'm an ex-cop." And I was like, okay, whatever. I feel bad, but like, whatever. And then I just hung up on him. And then like 20 minutes later, in bursts this guy, and he's like yelling at me. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like shaking, like I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. Like I'm pretty sure I like shouted back at him at some stage when I wasn't scared anymore. But it ended up like him just pointing and talking about like his like life history as a cop. And then like I apologize, but like it just wasn't a great moment.
Yeah,
All
it was. I mean, look, it was a rough area, and you were 17, and look, I remember what I was like when I was 17. I was very angsty,
yeah.
like long hair, all black clothes, like listen to angry music, um, and we thought we were kings of the world. Like, I don't know if you did, but I really was like, man, we're gonna live here forever. Like, this is our time, like, and we
I'm
were
pretty sure
literally.
everyone feels like that at that age, though. Just
Mm.
we don't.
But that was a
Yeah.
great job. Like, no shade to my current job or even previous ones, but that like nothing comes close to that job. Like, yeah, we made $9 an hour, and we only worked 1 day a week. But I don't know, man. Like, we could do whatever we wanted. Like, and I don't want to say the boss didn't care, but it really felt like he didn't because we probably got away with way more than we should have. Like,
Yeah.
um, but oh, that was great. Well, even though I know a pretty big part of your history, we always ask the question. I say, look, we all know I'm very open about it. I was a teenage film snob, but were you? When did you start getting into film and movies and stuff like that?
I think Dad introduced me to like the horror movie genre way too early. We're talking about like a little kid. I think I got nightmares from The Blob, and
Yep.
Pet Cemetery was the ones that gave me nightmare. I think I might have just accidentally saw it, but yeah, I had nightmares from that, and that's what I was exposed to, and probably defined what I liked
Yep.
in the long run. But I don't know, like it depends. Like religiously, I think like my tastes change every 5 years. I
Yep.
think I feel like I've been a snob with a lot of things up until now. Like I've been pretty close minded with a lot of films and stuff. Um, I do like my animated films, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah. I know you have a strong horror background because your big thing, and this is my big thing as well, but like growing up was Goosebumps. Like I remember like there was the video, there was like the virtual CD-ROM game or whatever, like Escape from Horrorland. I remember that being a staple. Um, but yeah, like that seemed to be a thing. It wasn't my family, but just about every other family I knew, and maybe it's just like our generation, but like the parents were like, "Hey, you can watch this film. It doesn't matter. Like just watch it. Like you can watch this horror film. Like too young," which is the kind of parent I hope to be for Zoe. My wife has told me that I'm not allowed to be that kind of parent, but I'll sneak her some horror films. But yeah, and I agree with the snob thing as well because you knew me, like you knew me like when I was studying film at school, like I was a snob. Um, but I did last year in 2021 during the pandemic. I was like, I'm going to be better. I'm just going to watch anything. And I was like, to test it, I will watch the Adam Sandler film Pixels. And like, if I can get through this, then I'm not a snob anymore. And I'll be honest, it was pretty good. Like, it's not going to change the world, but it was fun. Um,
yeah, you need to get through art house movies. That's the real test.
Well, I think I said this. Told this story on the episode with Nick, but I think I'm falling out of my art house phase during the end of 2020 when Zoe was first born. I watched 380 films in 2020. Most of them were in the last 4 months of the year because I was on a new sleep schedule where I was up to 3 in the morning. That might be part of the reason why I struggled. But I was just watching films like back to back to back, 3, 4 movies a night, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this movie, Beyond the Black Rainbow, and it's directed by this Greek director who also did Mandy. I don't know if you saw Mandy. It's a Nicolas Cage film, and it's amazing. He
Mm.
fights demons with a chainsaw. Like they have chainsaw sword fights. It's great. um, but the director of that, his first one was called Beyond the Black Rainbow. I was like, right, here we go. I'm going to watch this one because this new film was great. This is going to be awesome. Oh, and then I was like, I felt old. I was like, okay, maybe I can't do art house films anymore. Like it was just a wall of sound for 2 hours and like just weird imagery. I was like, oh no, okay, let's put on Avengers again because that's going to be easy to watch.
Yeah.
And were you a
Yeah.
video store kid? I know that we were like in our teens, we definitely were video store kids. But before, like when you were growing up, was that something that was kind of regular for you guys in your
Yeah.
house?
I just remembered also like I was a big 80s movies as well, like Total Recall and all that. So I was exposed to a lot of that. But yeah, video store, I was like, we did go to the video store a lot, and we always were allowed to pick like, one new release and all that type of thing.
That was what we were getting excited about the other day when I was talking to Nick, who's like, 1 year release and 4 weeklies, and I was like, oh, what a
Yes.
bargain that was! You get all these movies. It's funny you mentioned Total Recall because again, like as I've kind of said, and I confronted my dad a little bit on his episode, but I was a bit softer on him than I wanted to be. But I was like,
Yeah.
I never got to watching the cool movies. Like all my friends got to watch the cool films, and I'm here, rewatching Beverly Hills Ninja for the fourth time. Which don't get me wrong, I love Beverly Hills Ninja. Like it holds
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, they're watching those cool action films. I was like, if there's a European sounding surname and a machine gun, I didn't see it. Like, there was no Schwarzenegger, no Stallone,
Yeah.
until my 20s. And anything that I did watch that wasn't suitable, according to my parents, was because I had friends like you who were like, yeah, let's just watch this, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's interesting. I feel like it shaped you though, like sort of like thrusted this passion sort of type of thing.
It definitely did. And I 100% swear I would not be a Kevin Smith fan if it wasn't for the way I was raised. Like been raised in a house where we could watch movies with swearing and violence and stuff, I probably wouldn't have thought twice about Clerks. But because I've been like so sheltered, I saw that movie and I was like, oh, I've never seen anything like this before. That's amazing. And then I fell down the rabbit hole. So if my dad doesn't like what I'm watching now, it's his fault. Um, which I'm constantly reminding him of. Um,
Yeah, I remember like I was at Beck's house when she was living with her parents, and we were just trying to find something to watch. And I was like, "How about Mallrats? I heard this one's good." Um, and we started watching it, and then they sat there. They were like in the booth talking, and we were just sitting there watching that long scene, and it was just so awkward sitting there.
oh, is it the
Uh,
fortune teller scene with the three nipples?
I don't know. They were just talking about sex for like
Oh,
20 minutes.
okay. I was like, because there's a lot of long scenes in that movie that are all a
Yeah,
bit awkward. Um,
yeah. I was like, okay, man, we should turn it off.
that is the one downside. Is like I never really had any of those awkward moments where I watched something that was inappropriate and my parents walked in at the wrong time. Um, I think the closest I got was when I was 16 or 17. I was at my mum's house because after my parents got divorced, and I say this lovingly, but my mum stopped caring. She was like, "Watch whatever you want." Like, and that was the best green light I could get. I was
Yeah,
like, "Yes, she stopped caring. Now I can watch all the things I want to watch. Now I can watch Kill Bill before I'm 18. Now I can watch Desperado before I'm 18." So like, that was the like if anything came positive out of my parents' divorce, it was I got to watch more movies. Um, and I remember I rented on DVD. Oh, it might have been VHS even. Um, Gangs of New York, the Scorsese film. And my mum was like, "You can watch this on your own. That's fine." She's like, "But there's one scene that you do need to come down and get me so you understand what it is." And she didn't spell it out clearly, but I did not go and get her at all during that movie. And I'm pretty sure it was the brothel scene. And I was like, I'm glad I didn't go. Like, why do you want to sit next to me during this brothel scene? Like, this is gonna make for some really awkward like conversation.
yeah,
Um, but I think that film might have sparked my interest in cinematic violence. Like I remember, like that was the most violent film I'd seen at the time, and I remember I tried to convince you guys to watch that. We were all on holiday, the four of us in Cobram one year,
Yeah, yeah,
and my dad had a pirated version of 8 Mile. Um, and you guys were like, yeah, let's watch this, and I wasn't allowed to watch it. Like, no, I wasn't allowed to watch it because it's too much swearing. So I was like, all right, well, I was like, guys, we can't watch that. Why don't we watch Gangs of New York? And you guys like made so much fun of me because it was like like it was considered like an art film because it was like an Oscar nominated film. And like,
yeah.
no, 8 Mile, why'd you watch that? It's so lame. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, it's violent, there's street fights and stuff, but I didn't live it down for a while. I was regularly the butt of the joke, I think, in that group. Just had some weird ideas of what we should do.
I don't know. I think we all got a fair share
I
past
also
the.
did drag us all to see League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in cinemas, and that's something I can never apologize enough for.
I don't know. I watched it again years ago, and I was like, it's bad, but it's still good. Like it's like bad good.
I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters. Since that time, we all saw it together, and part of me really wants to watch it again, but part of me is also like, look, that was Sean Connery's last movie. Like maybe I should go and watch the stuff I like him in, as opposed. So, but I will go. I'll give it another spin at some point. I just don't know when.
Do you
Uh,
know that Sean Connery always had this clause in his contracts that there had to be a big explosion in the movie he was doing that was bigger than the last movie he was doing?
is
So
that
that's why.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's what I read. Apparently that's why there was like this ridiculous explosion of like, or was it Venice exploding in League of Gentlemen? Uh,
Oh, you might be right. I haven't seen it in so
it's
long,
like,
but it sounds
yeah,
familiar.
yeah. If it's true, like they're like literally had to block like the whole place because like the level that they were at for the contract. Yeah,
They should have just cast him in Armageddon. Like that should have been his last movie. Like when they blow up the meteor. Like what a great
yeah.
send off that would have been for him. Um, yeah, that's crazy. I took you guys to some bad movies. Like I think, and not bad movies. Like because my opinion is there's no real bad movies. Like even like I enjoy everything, but I know like as far as the general audience is concerned, not great movies. Like I dragged you guys to Van Helsing. I think I dragged you guys to Chronicles of Riddick. Like
Just to interject. I like Van Helsing. I still bad, but it's still good. I thought it was
yeah,
alright.
it's visually it's aged poorly because some of those CG effects are like wow, like that Frankenstein is tough to look at. Um, but yeah, like 'cause I remember I think they came out at the same time as Underworld, and I loved Underworld. So it was like, yeah, it's like the
Yeah,
Matrix,
yeah.
it's sleek and leather, and they got ultraviolet bullets. And then we went and saw Van Helsing, and because there was some humor, everyone was like, "Oh, this is way better than Underworld." I was like, "Oh, I like Underworld." It's gone bad. I mean, look, there's five of
Bill
those
Nye.
movies.
Bill Nye's head vampire.
That guy can do no wrong. Like
Yeah.
everything I see him in. Like we watch probably once a year Love Actually, just because it's like one of the only Christmas movies that is quite entertaining to me at least. And Bill Nye, like as an aged rock star, is amazing. Like, he's so good
Yeah.
in it. He's great in Shaun of the Dead, like Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great in everything. Um, I was trying to think of any other video store stories that we had, but I can't think of any. Like because it was just the same thing every week. Like uh, the only thing I remember is that we were not mean, but we definitely picked on Tanya, like who I loved. She's one of my favorite people, and I haven't spoken to her in so long. I should try
Yeah.
and get her on the show actually, because she'd be great. But we would just like always play our metal, and she's like, "I like Kings of Leon." Um,
Yeah. I mean, like it was just so weird. Like I said, the people that were regulars in that store, like even that Mark, was it Duncan or Mark
yeah, well, he
who
ended up
told me with the
working
soccer
for us.
ball?
He had he was always. I can't remember who it was. It was either you or Luke who was like, I just feel like he's always been playing sport. Like every time I see him, he's like just come from a run or something. Uh,
Yeah, he's always puffed. Yeah, yeah.
mm.
Crazy. I just feel like we're in a sitcom because like the people who just walked in, they were like all characters.
He was, yeah, it really was. Like you're right, like it was like living in a sitcom. There was that one guy, I can't remember, I don't remember his name, he's a customer, he's like a big guy. Um, and like whenever I remember we were playing Rage Against the Machine at one point, and he came in, he's like, oh, and starts like pretending to play the guitar along with the song and stuff. And he was like, oh, I love Julia Roberts, man. She does the greatest films, Julia Roberts. And I'm like, this voice and that name do not match up at all. Like, are you sure you don't want Fast and the Furious? Like, um,
Yeah, yeah. I can't even remember. It's like a blip now in my mind.
I went in
Yeah.
there that store only a couple more times. Like after it closed down, someone else bought it, And it's funny. So like the guy who ran it, who's sadly passed away since we worked there, his son went to school with us, and then they it went under, and it was bought by someone else who also went to school with us. And they remodeled it, and it's half the size it was. Like so where the counter was, whatever, and I think they're like 4 aisles. So 2 of those aisles were just gone. It became like this really narrow store. It was only DVDs and a couple of Blu-rays. There wasn't much at all. And I remember like at a real low point, I was like, "Can I get a job?" Because I thought, well, I used to work here, and my parents know the person who owns this now, so maybe I can get a job again. I didn't even get an interview. They were just like, they were like, "No, it's too old." And my only like positive memory of that video store was I finally got to watch Human Centipede because of that store, and that was about it.
Oh, that movie.
I haven't done a horror episode yet. I got a couple people lined up who want to talk about horror movies, but I don't think anyone's got Human Centipede on their list.
No, I don't think I've ever watched it properly, just because I had no interest in it whatsoever.
It's surprisingly tame. Like the two is outrageous, but the first one is surprisingly tame. It's more the idea, and I guess I'm desensitized because I didn't even think about that. But I remember I was telling my wife, she's like, you can't tell me about this movie. Like it's gross. And I was like, yeah, but you didn't even see it. And she's like, the idea of it. I was like, I guess I've watched too many horror films now. I'm just desensitized.
Yeah.
We could talk about this all night, and we might talk about it more the next time you're on because you'll definitely be back. But let's have a look at your list. So Josh has been charged with a simple task. Tell me your top 5 favorite movies. Which, to be fair, I don't know. I honestly don't know what your top 5 favorite movies are. And you were like, "Should I tell you?" I'm like, "No, leave it a surprise because then we can talk about them." I almost was like going to do Tim Burton movies because I know that growing up you're a big Tim Burton fan, but I don't know whether you're a fan of his modern work or not. So I didn't want you to be like, "Well, Edward Scissorhands."
Yeah. It was really hard. Like I found like I'd probably like having like an actual like top 5, it was just really hard to pick like 5 of them that I wanted to talk about. So I probably got like easily 10 that I could talk about. But I'll start with number 5, The Prestige.
Wow.
It's surprising. You're going to be surprised. You will be surprised by my list. But I love this movie. I think it's told really well. I think it's done really well, and I really like the Victorian-esque sort of era. I like the sort of magician sort of like style. I like that sort of stuff. I like Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale in this movie. I like the twists. I just like the whole movie, and I like that there's a twist, but then also the way it's told as well is like on top of that, and then they just put everything in front of you, and you sort of got to slowly piece it together.
The Prestige, I think, is Chris Nolan's underrated gem. Like everyone thinks about Dark Knight, which is a wonderful film. Dark Knight's not even my favorite Batman movie, but everyone thinks of Dark Knight. Everyone thinks of like, not Inception, I guess, and Memento, and those are kind of like the go-tos. And like everything is done, like everything. Every time he makes a new movie, it gets bigger and bigger and becomes more popular. But I never hear him talk about The Prestige, which is a real shame because I agree. It might be my favorite of his non-Batman films. It's so well executed. The twist is great. Which you mentioned, for those who haven't seen The Prestige, it's as Josh was kind of saying, it's about magicians in the 1800s or the early 1900s, and before we had technology to make magic work, they had to do not real magic, but like they had to do like kind of dirty tricks and stuff to make them work, like that the bird cage, crushing the bird and stuff, the drowning tanks. It's from it's from that kind of Houdini era, and it's so like encapsulated. You can't like
it grabs
look away.
you right away. It grabs you right away. And they're throwing decoys at you all the time because like you're watching the character and they're reading the diary entry.
Yes.
And then it turns out to be a decoy, so you're like they're just messing with you and the people on screen. So it just keeps you like engaged the entire movie. Like,
and it's
really good.
And it's such a great feud, like these two rival magicians trying to, and like it's not good enough for them to be better than each other. They have to embarrass each other, and they have to like cause pain to each other as well. And it's such a huge, like, again, not enough people talking about it. It's such a huge cast because you got Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale who are perfect. You've got Scarlett Johansson who's really, really good in it. You've got Michael Caine. Like it's the best of Marvel and DC, really. Like you got Batman and Alfred and Black Widow and Wolverine. It's a solid choice. I I would not have guessed was on your top 5, but I think we have talked about it before. But it's such a good movie. I rewatched it recently. When I say recent, in the last couple of years, to make, I was like, I just wanted to. Am I right? Is it really as good as I remember it? And it absolutely is. It's so good.
Yeah, I rewatched it last week, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. Because there's a few twists, and like it just like there's a twist, and then there's another twist, and then yeah, it's really awesome. And like I like how you don't know who the villain is, until halfway through the movie. It's very neutral. You sort of see their journeys, and they start going down. Each of them go down a direct path.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And you just said something, and I don't know whether you actually did or not, because I remember we were talking about getting together to record. You're like, I'm going to rewatch all the movies on my list. And I was like, you don't have to do any homework at all, but if you wanted, did you actually end up watching all 5 of them?
No, because I couldn't. Okay, so like I ran out of time because I couldn't find one of my. I just nearly said it. I I couldn't find one of them, and then because I don't have anything. Yeah, I didn't watch 2, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty on 2 of them.
That's okay.
Yeah. I wanted to watch them again. Yeah.
Yeah. On the last episode I did with Nick, or a couple of episodes ago with Nick, we did the top 5 Scorsese films. He picked the category because I suggested Chris Nolan because I know he loves Nolan. He's like, no, let's do Scorsese. I was like, I'm rusty on Scorsese. Like I've seen a few of them, but I'm not the world's like I don't dislike them. I just haven't watched a lot of them. And I had to bluff my way through talking about Casino. Like I'm like, this is my number 4 favorite, which is true, but I hadn't seen it in so long. I was like, yeah, it's basically like every other Scorsese, Goodfellas type movie. And I sound like an idiot, so don't worry. Like you can be a little bit rusty. I'm meant to be a film snob, but I really like crap the bed on that one. That's a strong start. If that's your number 5 in your top 5 favorite films, I can't wait to hear what's next. What's number 4?
Oh, Pan's Labyrinth.
What a great movie.
Yes. So I'm pretty into dark fairy tales, and I think that's like it just stands out. Like the whole thing's like a work of art, like the visuals, just the story being built on the back of wall, and it being all in Spanish is really like nice. Like it's just really elegant. Like and then just the story of like her escapism, and sort of like doubling the world, and just the journey she goes on. It's just awesome.
It is a gorgeous film, and Guillermo obviously has made a million like wonderful movies. I feel like this is the one that put him on the map, but he did like some pretty interesting stuff before this. Like he did Mimic before this, I'm pretty sure. And I'm trying to think what else he'd done, but he Devil's Backbone and stuff. But you're absolutely right. And I remember I watched it with Tina. She showed it to me the first time, and she's like, "Don't worry about the monsters. So the monsters are cool, but like here's what's going to upset you: the dress." Because at one point the girl gets a little dress and she ends up like ruining it from falling into the mud or whatever. And she was right; it was heartbreaking. I was like, "Oh no!" Like the dress. And you're right. Like the monsters aren't the scary part. Like you got that very iconic monster with the eyeballs in his hands and stuff, but like they're not scary. It's the terror of reality that's so terrifying about it. It's something that Guillermo does really well, humanizing monsters and making them almost like
the softer kind of part.
Yeah, like they're like, look at the monsters, they're way nicer. Do you have
Shape of Water? Like Shape of Water is a pretty good example of that. Yeah,
I love Shape of Water. Do you have any other Guillermo films on your list, or is that the only one?
Oh, hang on.
Because I want to keep talking about Guillermo, but I don't want to like ruin your list.
Hellboy. I love the first Hellboy.
Hellboy is great. I actually like all of the Hellboy films. Like 2, I know why people don't like it, but to me, like when you go on,
I know I agree with people, but second, like seeing it again and again, I do like it. I do like stand by why everyone doesn't like it. It's the market scene, I think.
Yes. People hate the
market scene. Yeah. I do like Hellboys. I think it was really well done. I haven't seen the new Hellboy. They were trying to like Ron Perlman was trying to get people to like rally for a third one.
He's been doing that for years. And I remember like the most recent one, they're like, do you even want to do it anymore? He's like, I'm 70. No, I don't. But he's like, but everyone else wants it, so we should try and get one more done. What I love about that second one is the giant like plant monster that's like, because I watched that, I'm like, how do we have this but not Swamp Thing or Poison Ivy? Like this proves that you can do Poison Ivy in movies, like properly. Um, yeah, I really like that second one. I think it's really underrated. I think the other thing is a lot of people didn't like that Seth MacFarlane was the voice of the Waterhead guy. There's like a robot.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I think it has everything.
um,
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I'm trying to
yeah,
think of what other movies I did watch. What was the latest one? The I'm drawing a blank now.
Nightmare Alley is the newest one, which I
Nightmare
haven't seen.
Alley.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen
Nightmare
that yet.
Alley.
Is it any good?
It's visually, it's like a slow burn, like a
Yeah,
very long slow burn. It's like visually great. Yeah,
that sounds
I
like
think.
that sounds like Crimson Peak to me. Crimson Peak was very similar, where it was gorgeous to look at, and like but it was very slow, and not a lot really happened. And I'm pretty sure the brother and sister were in love with each other. That's all I remember from that movie. Uh,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I remember the Pacific Rim was okay, but like it's not. It's a bit flashy for my liking. I did think it was cool, but trying to remember what other movies he's done. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
I really do think that like Pan's Labyrinth, obviously that and Shape of Water are probably his best. Like I love those two, and that's not a slam on Hellboy at all. I love those Hellboy movies, but Shape of Water is such a beautiful, like strangely, unexpectedly adult film. Like I was not expecting it to be as sexualized as it is. Like it gets pretty full on at
yeah,
times, but like Michael Shannon, who plays the villain in that as well, is so good. And he's good in everything. Like he's Zod in Man of Steel, and um, he's been like a million things. He's wonderful, but he's so good in that movie. Uh, we were talking about Pans though. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Like that doesn't surprise us in your list because I know you're a big Guillermo guy. Um,
yeah.
nice
All
one. What do
right.
you got next for me?
What We Do in the Shadows. It's like
I like
my
your
go
list.
comedy movie. Every year I watch it. The movie version, not the TV. I love the TV show as well. Like it's its own thing, which sort of almost tops the movie in its own way. But I just love it. I laugh at it every single year that I watch it. My cousin got me onto it. They're like, oh, you probably like. I know you like that sort of vampire sort of stuff, but check out, that. And it's just so funny. Like,
It's it's great. Like you've got first of all, you've got the Nosferatu looking vampire, like who's like he's legitimately terrifying. Like is scary to look at. But there's so many great lines. Like one of my favorites is "Hey hey, we're werewolves, not swearwolves." Uh,
yeah, it's just like that Flight of the Conchords, like humor brought over into like a horror sort of spectrum. Um,
yeah, yeah, it's so well done, and it's so like I don't know if it was an expensive movie to make. It was probably relatively cheap, but they just like used everything they had and just told such a wonderful story. Like I love when they go to the dance. That's great. And they've got
yeah,
their human friend who becomes a vampire and goes crazy. I haven't watched in a couple of years. I showed it to Tina. Is it a Taika Waititi film? Did he direct it?
yeah. I think they Jermaine. Um,
I'm gonna look it up because
I'm
I'm
trying to,
pretty
yeah.
sure I
I don't
should
know if
know
it was
this.
him.
Well, Taika's the main vampire. I know that.
Yeah,
Um, let's have a look. This is the most interesting part of the show
I
where I
just
stop and look
realized
things up.
I called him by his Flight of the Conchords name, not the actor's actual name.
Yeah, it was directed by both of them, so Jermaine and Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
Yeah, Viago, that's right. Um,
yeah,
it's solid. Like it's a really really fun movie. It's a great mockumentary. They do so much with so little in that movie, and Taika, of course, has gone on to be just hugely famous, like by making all these amazing large films. Not
yeah,
just Thor, but obviously Jojo Rabbit and stuff as well. Um,
yeah. I love that movie. Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me either. You mentioned the show though. I've never watched the series. How's that?
Oh, it's so good. So do you remember Mighty Boosh?
Yes.
Do you remember the second boss? I don't know
Oh,
yeah, the
Are
second.
you talking about IT Crowd? Do you mean
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, IT. No, hang on.
Father? That guy, Matt
Yes,
Berry.
I'm pretty sure he's in the Mighty Boosh for a little bit, but in yeah, no, he's in Mighty Boosh,
Yeah.
but in IT Code, yes, the second boss, yes.
Yeah.
He plays one of the vampires
Yeah.
in the
He's
TV.
great.
Yeah, it is so good. Yeah, yeah, and then they got a familiar and then the familiar just like they just like sort of like dish it out on him, and then they've also got a human there, which is like a I forgot what they call him, like a human vampire, like a soul sucker. He just
Okay.
drains people with boredom. It's really good.
That's great. And Mark Hamill's in it, is that right?
Oh yeah, he's in a few episodes. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
really
cool.
funny. It's really funny. I think they're up to their third season, but it's really good, worth checking out.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check it out. It's just one of those things. I just haven't got around to it, and now that I got a kid and stuff, my day doesn't start till 7 p.m. once she's asleep, and then it's like, well, we've got 2 hours to do something. What are we gonna do? And
Yeah.
right now, we're just rewatching episodes of Superstore, which is actually a relatively good show. It was way better than I was expecting it to be. Um,
Yeah,
so
nice.
that's three. All right. What's number two on your list?
Well, this is gonna be a weird one. Artificial intelligence.
Wow. Tell me about this because okay, tell me about artificial intelligence.
So I think a lot of people hate this movie, but
Me included.
yeah.
Not hate. I don't hate anything, but it is a bizarre pick. Tell me about it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, I had to do some research on it to see what other people think because I thought it was a great movie, and it has a lot of history behind it. But I think it's like I love the ending. I think it's like it's a dark fairy tale as well.
That's why I don't like that ending. Is so depressing.
I love the ending. It really it just really blew my mind. I mean that heart wrenching scene when she like ditches like the kid in the forest. I think
Yeah.
that really stayed with me. And then like the robots in the that sort of rally monster truck rally type venue where they're like melting the robots, that stuck with me as well. A lot of cool visual scenes. And then like his quest just to be like loved, and I really like how they sort of tackled AI and did it in like the form of innocence and the journey he took. Um, and just like the characters along the way. Like I really like that as a heartfelt sci-fi because you don't really get that in sci-fis. You don't get the sort of like compassionate part when you sort of
Mm.
see sci-fis. That's how I sort of feel about it. And for me,
Yeah,
AI,
sci-fi is normally like the robots are killing us. Like that's generally the
yeah.
context of the term.
So I thought AI really stayed with me because like just just the scenes and that ending, which is really cool.
Wow. There you go. Like, because when you said that, I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever spoken about AI to anyone ever. And then when you were like, no, I like it, and here's the reason, I'm like, well, it won't be the ending because that ending is so upsetting. And you're like, no,
No,
I
it's
love the ending.
it's an ending that you don't expect because it's like a bittersweet ending.
I should
Um,
watch it now that I'm an adult because the last time I watched it, I was like 19, and I was like just terrified of my own mortality when I was 19. So like to have like just a boy sitting alone like in the dark, like with no one to love and look after him was pretty upsetting. But maybe now, like as someone in
yeah,
my middle age and I'm not contemplating my mortality so much, maybe I'll dig it. Like maybe it'll be as entertaining as Bicentennial Man, which also upset me.
can we talk about the ending?
Talk about it, go for it. Now I haven't seen it in, as I said, like since I was 19, so going on like 15, yeah, 15 years. So definitely like tell me about the ending. Go for it.
Yeah. So after thinking that, I can't really remember, but I know that he ends up being frozen.
Yep.
Um, I think like the Earth ends up ending up underwater, and he thinks
Yeah.
he's found his mom, and then he ends up being frozen, and then aliens in like the very distant future come and unfreeze him and say like you're the closest to humanity that we've found, which is pretty cool because like he's been trying to like be like a lovable human the entire time.
Mm.
um, and then they sort of say, we can, essentially, I think they're putting him to sleep, and they say you can have like one memory, um, to sort of like to relive, and he chooses the one with the mom and sort of stuff because that's happiness for him, that's reality for him, and also
Yeah.
that Teddy pretty cool. But I watched this like analysis on it, and they were saying that like I didn't realize they were putting him to sleep, but that's what they reckon. This person thought that that's what they were doing, like they were just showing the memory because it only lasts like one day or something, and that was them just shutting him down or something. But I'm not too sure. But It's a really bittersweet ending where it's like he gets what he wants, but it's also very sad. So it's like a
Yeah,
happy.
I remember that crushing me. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a 3 hour movie, and like, this is the payoff I get. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
So it's like getting to the same point, but it's not a forever type sequence. It's like you get that moment where you've gotten what you want, but it's not really a happy ending beyond that. It's like that one moment where you are considered human and you do get that feeling again. Um,
mm.
but like it's good because it's like the villain of the piece is humans in it, and I really like that. After
I'm cool with that. I don't mind that. I like that. But yeah, I just remember that little boy. And you know what? I wouldn't be able to watch it now because now I'm a father. Like, I think it would destroy me.
yeah, yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind Tina. Like, Tina cried all the way through Paddington too. And I can say that because she said on the first episode that she was in. So I'm not like, and like that was just, and she just got upset because the bear went to jail. So I think this movie would legitimately destroy her. Um, it's
Yeah.
interesting. You know, I am surprised this film's on your list, but I'm not surprised because robots have played a huge part in kind of our shared history as well. Like I think about Bender from Futurama, which obviously like everyone knows. But
Mm.
I don't know if I don't know if your number one movie has robots in it, but I feel like you do have a lot of robot movies on your like just in your general like rewatch list. Like, is that right, or am I kind of wrong there?
Um, I think I do like sci-fi, but I like the weird sci-fi's. Like I
Mm.
don't. Yeah, yeah, I would say so.
Did you ever
But
watch?
I'm not a big Transformers fan. That's the thing. I
No, I
don't
didn't
like.
mean no, no. Sorry, actually, he's not a Transformers fan guy. Like, and I'm still a snob about that as well. Although I did like's a strong word. I did enjoy Bumblebee. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
Because it kind of felt like the Iron Giant, like, and obviously
right. Yeah,
the
so it's a
Iron Giant.
technicality.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm like, remember that better film? That's what it reminded me of. Um, but I didn't mind Bumblebee. Have you ever seen Ex Machina?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I like that movie too.
that
Yeah,
to me is like that's my. I mean, it's that's also an AI film, and that probably is my favorite AI film. Although Upgrade, I really like as well when it comes to artificial intelligence. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
yeah. I like the real old one. Number five is alive. Um,
Yep. Short Circuit, is that what it
or
was?
yeah, Short Circuit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Short Circuit. Yeah. Oh, there's one more that I can't remember, but I was raised on them movies. Me and my dad would watch all them sci-fi movies. You know, the 80s ones. So yeah, robots and yeah.
Robots,
Didn't
like, if anyone could take anything away from this list, it's robots and monsters. Like, that's what it is.
it's pretty much.
Number one, robots versus monsters. They
Yeah.
I'm I'm racking my brain. I'm trying to think what number one could even be. Um,
It's a pretty easy one. It's
uh,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I have to explain why it's number one though, because it's an odd movie to put number one. Um,
oh, I think there's a whole like army of like goth and emo kids from the last 15 years that would disagree. I think they've, and I'm not lumping you in with them because I know you're not, but
yeah.
like that is a cult movie, and it's not by Tim Burton. Everyone thinks it is, but it's not a Tim Burton film. Um, what? Tell us about Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think I saw it like I first saw it as a kid, and I just become completely obsessed with it. And I sort of left it for a few years, but then like I had to keep watching it, and then like I was so obsessed with it, and it just like defined pretty much like what I drew, you know, my interests. From then on, like just characters. I think it put me down the path that I was on. I think that's why it's so like it just has a profound like place in my heart because it's like the thing that put me, you know, on that trajectory. And I watch it every year around, you know, Halloween, Christmas. I think it's a better Christmas movie because like it's like festive and stuff. But I just think it's brilliant. Like it defined like a style. I took a lot of learning from that, like you know, making your own style, like um, making things like cute and creepy. Like it just has a lot there. And then the songs are awesome too. Like it's just a really cool thing.
There's a lot to unpack there because for those who haven't seen Josh's art, and if you, and we'll definitely plug his Instagram and stuff at the end. But you haven't seen his art, you might not be able to tell it now, but your art is heavily influenced by that. And I don't mean like you just copied it. Like it's easy for people to say that, but you didn't. But like I remember growing up because you were like the artist. Like no matter which school we went to, like you always known as the art kid. You were the one who could do the cool drawings and stuff. And it started off definitely very Tim Burton-esque, and then became, or not Tim Burton-esque, but Nightmare Before Elm Street, not Nightmare Before Christmas. You can tell I'm tired. Nightmare Before Christmas kind of influence, and then became its own thing. But yeah, that's definitely something that I associate with you quite a bit. And then the music, you're right. I remember when we were like, I want to say 18, 19, we were like, James, all of our favorite punk and metal bands covered Nightmare Before Christmas. And like, it was like Rise Against did one. And um, I think Flyleaf and Amy Lee from Evanescence and Korn, yeah. You're like, no, James, say the cool one. Say the metal one so they know I'm not lame. Like, Korn as well, yeah. It is a great one. And are you a Corpse Bride fan as well? Do you make that jump?
Yes, it took me a long time to really love it as much as I did, Nightmare. But I really like that one too. I wish they would do another one, like just have a trio.
Because I think Corpse Bride, I think the thing that movie suffered from, and I don't mean like it's a bad film, I think it's a wonderful movie, but I think one thing that suffered from it is marketing, where people were like, oh, well, it's just Nightmare Before Christmas, because the Corpse Bride does look quite a bit like Sally, and Johnny Depp's character looks a little like, if Jack Skellington was human, he'd kind of look like that. And didn't they both have dogs as well? Like, do they both have like?
No, he had a dog, and it went to the underworld, so it's just there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of Frankenweenie.
You know what? I never thought about it like that, but it actually is. It's like literally like a character pool. Like, it's just like a theme pool.
Yeah, but it is. But it is a wonderful movie. But yeah, Tim Burton didn't direct it. Like, I remember, and that took me a long time to realize. Like, yeah, that Tim Burton movie, Night Before Christmas, but it was someone else's team or something.
It was based on a poem he did. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's definitely involved in it on some level.
I think the guy who you're talking about directed Coraline.
He wrote it, and Henry Selick directed. The guy who did Coraline, you're absolutely right, and James and the Giant Peach. I didn't realize that the voice of Jack Skellington, or at least the singing voice, is Danny Elfman.
Yeah. You have to really listen for it to hear the change, but it's pretty close.
I'm surprised that I didn't guess that this was on your list, because as soon as you said, I'm like, of course it is. But yeah, that's a pretty strong list. There are definitely some surprises. I'm glad Prestige was on there. I don't know if you convinced me on artificial intelligence, but I'm glad I'm glad it's on someone's list, because every movie should be on someone's list.
It just stuck with me because I was sitting there. I had a few extra ones, and I was like, but this one I remember, and this one inspired me a lot. The other ones I had on my list was The Mist, for a bad ending as well.
I love The Mist. It's funny because The Mist has an upsetting ending as well, and I rewatched that in the last couple of years, and that ending is hardcore. Yeah. I remember I saw that, I'm like, this is a great movie. And I don't know whether it's, for those who haven't seen The Mist, first of all, go ahead and watch it. Thomas Jane is great in it, but also it's one of the most unexpected horror films you'll ever see. You don't expect it to be what it becomes. But that ending, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, stop, go watch The Mist, come back. Okay, now you've seen it. That ending where he kills his own child with a gun, and then 3 seconds later the mist clears and everything's okay. Jesus Christ. And he's run out of bullets, so he can't even kill himself. It's so horrifying. Yet I was like, this is okay. Artificial intelligence, I'm not so sure.
No. I think with artificial intelligence, I like the emotional depth in that movie scattered across.
Isn't Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine in The Mist as well? I think he's the neighbor.
Yes. Yeah. I was looking at the other day. The Mist almost made it on the list. The Mist almost made it on the list. Watchmen almost made it on the list.
Oh, I love the Watchmen. Have you ever watched the director's cut of Watchmen? It's
no, I'm going to have to. Yeah.
I
completely forgot about the TV show that just continues after it and how good it was. I mean, I wanted more from it, but it was all right.
Oh, it's great. Yes, the Watchmen TV show does an amazing feat where it's a sequel to both the movie and the book, but can work on its own. It's really, really great. That Watchmen movie, the 3.5 hour cut, is really good. They cut in the animated stuff, which I think is a bit hit and miss. But there's extra stuff in there. It is a longer movie and there's more content. But that's just what Zack Snyder does. It's like, hey, let me do my 4-hour cut and then you get the movie that I wanted to make. Like he's done it 3 times now with Watchmen, Batman vs Superman, and now Justice League, and they're all better versions. So like maybe just let him make those long movies. Watchmen and wow,
Frighteners almost made it on my list as well.
Oh, the Michael J. Fox, Peter Jackson movie, is that right?
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. That would be on your runners up, absolutely.
Yeah. And Back to the Future. So they're the ones I struggled with trying to put in because I was like, man, like they're all sort of great. But yeah.
Now with Back to the Future, are you a fan of the whole trilogy, or is it just part 1 and then you're like, oh, I don't care about the other ones? Like, where do you stand on Back to the Future?
I like all of it. I just think it's good.
And do you have a like? I don't know, we're not talking. This isn't the Back to the Future podcast, but just Back to the Future, I think, has been mentioned on every episode of this show so far. So every time I see someone, it comes up. Do you have a way that you rank them, or you just like, I just like to watch them all and they're all equal to me, or do you have favorites? How does that go for you?
Number 3 is The Train, right?
Yeah.
The Old West. I think. Yeah. What was no? I think I do like 1, 2, and 3. I think I like it in that order.
See. That's interesting. You're the first person I've heard say, like, not the first person, but like, I've been talking about it with people and trying to get an understanding, because I agree. 1 to me is perfect. Like, that is a great movie. I go 3, then 2. I think 2 is the weakest for me because I just think it's aged poorly, because they just got the future wrong, and I can't suspend my disbelief. Apparently, not they got the future.
I love how the future is depicted in 80s movies because it's so like over the top, and that's why I love it.
But there's so many weird storylines. How Biff marries his mum, and his mum got breast implants, and like it's all very, very weird. Whereas Tina, she goes 2, 1, 3. She likes number 2 the best, and then 1 to 3. Where I go 1, 3, 2. But you go 1, 2, 3. That's interesting. It might become a regular question on this podcast where I ask people, okay, rank Back to the Future for me.
Yeah. Beck told me that she hasn't seen it, and I was just like, "What?"
Look.
I was like, yeah, you have, because I feel like we've watched it briefly on TV, but maybe she hasn't seen it like properly.
We watch number 1 every year. That's an annual watch. There are a couple of movies you talked about that you watch these movies every year, Prestige and Nightmare Before Christmas. Back to the Future is absolutely one of those. Every year, number 1 gets to spin. Every now and then we'll do 2 and 3. Like last year we did 2 and 3, but 1 every year. Hot Fuzz every year. Like is another film that we just watch all the time. And Clerks is for me every year. Like she won't watch it, but I'll watch that one every year as well. So Back to the Future is just one of those classics. I'm not like, how dare she not have seen it? But really, she's the same age as us. Like, how did she not see it? Like.
She's got a whole different palette of movies.
How many times has she watched those Harry Potter films? Because like Back to the Future is way shorter than any one of those movies.
Honestly, probably like once every 3 months.
Yeah, that's okay. This isn't the make fun of Beck show. It's all good. Nice one. That is what I've loved about this so far, is that everyone who I've talked to about their list has been very, very different. And you're right, like with the exception of Back to the Future, well, I mean, I guess, and What We Do in the Shadows, I was pretty surprised. Like, again, like The Prestige, I'm so impressed The Prestige was on your list because I think it's such a wonderful movie. Nice one. Great, well, that's your list, all done. So the way we end each show is, before we get to the plugs and stuff, is I like to do a bit of a quick fire, rapid question round. You don't need to think too hard about them, just first answer you can think of. And you will be held, very serious on these. Just a couple of questions about how you feel about movies. So what was the last thing you watched?
I'm trying to think. TV show or...
we go movies, but we go movies, yeah.
I can't remember the last movie I watched. It's so much for rapid fire.
No, Tina did the same thing. She's like, oh, no. She was getting really panicked about it. She's like, it's not rapid enough.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds to think about this.
That's okay. Well, you can tell me your TV show as well in the meantime.
I'm watching Snowpiercer, and It's Always Sunny.
Is It Always Sunny start up again, or is it still...
It's still going, but we're watching the old episodes.
Yeah.
just to see what their like how their humor's progressed and what characters have sort of continued on.
One of my
Um,
favorite It's Always Sunny moments, and there's so many, is when Frank hijacks the boat and he's giving the tour. And it's like, over there's where me and Charlie used to play Nightcrawlers, but we're not allowed to do that anymore.
yeah, this literally every season has like these epic classics. Like it's a ridiculous. I mean, they're going for like, I think they're doing the season 16 now.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I think I think Encanto was one of the last movies we watched.
How's that? Because that looks, everyone's talking about Encanto. Everyone's saying it's great.
Yeah, it is. It looks deceptive because it looks like another like sort of like cliche Disney movie, but it's actually really great. I was surprised by it because I was like you, I was like, oh, everyone's watching this, you know, but it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm behind on my Disney and Pixar. I'm trying to think. We watched one episode of that Monsters Inc. show, and I liked it. We just never went back to it. But the actual movies, I'm trying to think what the last Pixar or Disney movie we watched was. It might have been Toy Story 4. Like, it's been a while since I've watched a new one. I haven't seen Luca yet. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. So, but in Encanto, I hear nothing but good things.
Yeah.
Cool. What's the one movie that's been sitting on your watch list forever? We've all got one where we just keep putting off watching a movie. Like, oh, I'll get to it eventually.
Oh, these are really hard questions.
He's taking this really seriously. He really wants to get the answer.
Yeah, I really wanna, yeah. Oh, I'm just trying to think. It's I want to watch the extended cut of Justice League.
Oh, you haven't seen that one yet?
No, that's on my watch list that I want to watch and see what everyone, you know, whether it holds up like everyone's saying it is.
I literally watched it this week. So like it's really funny timing actually, because yeah, I was off work because I was injured, so I didn't injure myself at work because I just sit at a desk all day, but I injured myself, so I was like, well, I'm gonna have lots of time, so I'm gonna rewatch Zack Snyder's Justice League. I really like it. Like, it's definitely, I won't spoil it because it's definitely different to the one that we saw in 2017. There's a lot more in it, and it's a lot darker, and like the character design and stuff is very, very cool, especially Steppenwolf. But it probably goes a bit overkill with the slow motion. Like, if you take the slow motion out, it's probably about a 3-hour movie. I'm not even kidding. Like, there's a lot of slow motion in it. And like, it moves quickly. Like, it doesn't feel like 4 hours, but towards the end, like, there's certain things that kind of tacked on, like that might normally be a post-credit sequence, but they just put it all in before the credits. So it does, towards the end, you're kind of like, oh, it's a bit Lord of the Ringsy, where it's like, oh, here's another ending. Oh, here's another ending. But those are my biggest critiques. I love it. I think it's great. We're probably not going to get any more now. I think he's probably done with those, and they don't really seem to want him back. But I'm glad we got it. But the good thing is, if you're watching it streaming, it's divided into chapters, so you can. And I think each chapter is about 30 to 45 minutes, so you can watch a couple of chapters, then come back the next day. Or if you watch it on Blu-ray, it's over 2 discs. So the first disc is 2 hours, and the second one, the first one's 2.5 hours, the second one's an hour and a half. So you can watch it over, and it kind of cuts at a good point as well. So you can do it that way.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I literally was there for 4 hours. I was like, I'm going to sit here start to finish. Like, we're going to watch this movie. Cool. That's a good one to put on the list. Are you a movie crier?
Oh, I think I'm a secret crier. Like, I'll hold it. Depends where I am, but I'll definitely try to hide it. I won't let it flow.
I'm a massive one. I stopped trying to hide it years ago. Like, I don't really cry in real life, but in movies, like, just open the floodgates. One of my favorite stories that I share with people, I can't remember if I said this on the podcast before or not, is when I went to Toy Story 3 with Tina. And if anyone's seen Toy Story 3, you'll know, like, from the opening credits, it's just like, geez, like, they're really trying to make you sad in this movie. And in the incinerator scene where they're all like basically like falling towards their own demise, I started crying, and I had Tina next to me on one side and a little boy on the other side, and the little boy goes, "Mum, why is that man so sad?" Like I was like, you don't get it, kid. Look, I was here 15 years ago. Like I've been with these toys forever. And I'm a real ugly crier as well. So like, not only am I a loud and like obvious crier, I'm also making it look as unattractive as possible.
Yeah, I'll get the hand up and dust away, or
Yeah.
yawn, or do the bat
Yeah.
scratch.
I do stifle it though. I will like I will try to keep it in, but
Yeah,
there's no those skills are gone. Like there's no way. Like it's all just broken now. They just
yeah.
cry all the
I think
time.
because it's like it's easy. I'm really empathetic, so it happens more than it needs to. So that's why I'm probably just a hider.
Yeah. I've had no one say no yet, actually. Everyone I've spoken to is like, yeah, I'm a movie crier. So I'm interested to see who the first person who says no, I don't cry in movies.
Mm,
Because at that point I'm like, you're even watching them, jeez.
mm.
Um, so I don't know what your answer is going to be to this one. Is there an actor or actress that you will follow to any movie? Is there someone who just like, they're in this movie, I'm checking it out?
It used to be Johnny Depp, but yeah,
Yeah. What was so it used to be, and I know I think I know why. Like I think a lot of people are in the same situation there where it just became everything had to be a character. Everything had to be like makeup and everything. Like that seems to be the thing that a lot of people had problems with. What was the movie that broke you? Like was there a particular movie where you're like, that's it, I'm done with Johnny Depp? Or
oh, what was that one? He was like that eccentric billionaire or something. That actually, I got a better answer. Jim Carrey. I'll watch anything he's in.
that? Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds like you. That's
yeah,
Jim
Jim
Carrey
Carrey.
and Nightmare Before Christmas are Josh in a teacup. Like that's it. Uh, what
Like,
were
yeah,
So you'll go to anything because Jim Carrey, like, has in the last couple of years, that's not even fair. It's in the last 20 years, he's done some really serious stuff as well. Like, I think of things like Truman Show was obviously the one everyone goes to, but like The Majestic, number
Majestic.
20, number 23,
Which I
um,
love. Yeah.
Kick Ass, which he is funny in, but he's playing like, and I know he denounced the film later, but he's playing a much different role than what you'd kind of see him traditionally in. Um,
Mm.
is I know I think The Mask and Ace Ventura, if I remember correctly, kind of like big ones for you. Is there anything else, or is there anything that you're like, I'll follow him, but man, I wish he didn't make that movie?
No, no, I like everything that he's done because I'm interested to see what he does
Mm.
with his character and the movies given. Because I feel like the movies sort of like he's constrained. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a great.
absolutely! What a great
That
movie.
almost made my list as well. Yeah.
I remember that's a
Um,
movie that I started watching when it first came out. I was watching it with my mum. As people listen to the show, they'll find out I watch a lot of movies with my mum. um, but we got like 15 minutes into it. She's like, yeah, I don't like this. She turned it off, and it took me 20 years or so to get back to it. But I finally watched it a couple of years ago, and boy, is it brilliant! Like,
mm.
so good. Another heartbreaking one.
And the TV show with the puppets, I forgot what it was called.
Is it
Uh,
the adult comedy one? Crank Yankers?
no, 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 no. I'm gonna quickly look this up.
I'll also do the casual search while we're looking. Jim Carrey and puppets. I just
Mr. Pickles. Kidding.
oh I don't oh is that what that is? I haven't watched. Is that I think it's
You
on
have to
Stan.
watch it. It's a really emotional show. It's really heavy. Like it's
Okay.
just yeah, yeah. You have to watch it. It's pretty heavy, but I thought he was great in that. It's yeah, it's cool.
Another one of Jim Carrey that because I'm not the world's biggest Jim Carrey fan. Like I think he's a very acquired taste. Like he's one of those ones where they like because he's so ridiculous. You're either into it or you're not. And I'm maybe one of the few people. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the only one, but like I kind of walk that line where there's some stuff I really like him in, and some stuff I just can't stand him in. Um, Man on the Moon is so good. Where he plays I've forgotten the guy's name now. Guy Kaufman.
Yeah.
The guy from Taxi, the actor from Taxi. I can't remember his name now. But Man on the Moon is great. I actually really like the Cable Guy. I haven't seen it in a long time, and that's one of his more crazy roles. Me, Myself, and Irene, I haven't seen in a long time, but I remember thinking was really good as well.
Yeah.
I've got that's the one where he's got multiple personalities. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah.
They totally got it wrong. Like, yeah, they totally got it wrong.
Oh, that's so
I'm
good.
just, I'm just quickly looking up his. He was Riddler in Batman Forever.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, in a world where we're getting Michael Keaton back as Batman in a couple of movies now, like he's going to be in The Flash and he's going to be in Batgirl.
Yeah.
Like, and there's rumors of Danny DeVito and um, Michelle Pfeiffer coming back as Penguin and Catwoman. Like, why not bring Jim Carrey back? Give him a chance to be a darker Riddler. Like, I mean, look, I don't know if they're going to get as scary as this new Riddler, who looks terrifying, but like dressed like the Zodiac and doing sword puzzles or something. But I could see like Jim Carrey having another go at the Riddler. That'd be all right.
Yeah, definitely. Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar.
Yeah, Lyle at the claw. He's been.
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce
Sorry?
Almighty, I really liked. I know that like a lot of people think that was kind of a bit of a step down for him. That was the film that introduced me to Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Because he plays like the jerk news anchor and stuff.
Fun with Dick and Jane was an okay one. It's a bit of a,
Yeah, I haven't seen. That's one of those movies that I rented from work, like when I worked in the video store, and I don't think I ever got through it. Like I don't know, I just never finished it. Like I just would see it and then stop and come back to it.
yeah, it's pretty weak. Yes Man is a good one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I know you would. I don't know whether it must have been you. Like no one else talks about Jim Carrey. I think it was "I Love You, Philip Morris" was one that came up.
I don't like that one. That's actually one of the ones I don't like.
Oh, okay.
No, I did felt that was stupid. Like even for him. Incredible Burt Wonderstone I like. It's like a
yeah, I liked it as well.
Good.
Like it's not like look, it didn't reinvent comedy. It's not going to be like on anyone's like best films of all time list. I mean, maybe I haven't interviewed everyone yet, but I don't think so. But it is really fun. I remember seeing that and thinking like, I think I messaged you afterwards. I was like, I just saw Burt Wonderstone. Your boy Jim Carrey is really good, and he plays like a real Chris Angel type character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid.
I thought that was fun. Yeah.
All right. So next question, and this is kind of a weird question to ask because I'm always like, there's no bad movies, but what was the worst movie you ever saw?
I have to look it up because I actually have a really good one. It's Rob Pattinson.
Twilight.
Not Twilight. Twilight's better than this. It's an art house movie. High Life was the worst movie I've ever seen.
I haven't heard of it.
And everyone loves it.
High Life.
It is like we could not follow it. It just felt like I think art house movies are cool, but it just felt like it was unwatchable to an extent. Like it just lacked everything.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this. But now I kind of want to see it because I'm like, well, if it's the worst movie Josh has ever seen, then it's got to be worth looking at further. Like, how bad could it be? So I'll give it a go at some point. I'll let you know how I went.
I
I've never
can't even describe it because I don't even know what happened in it.
It's a weird cast, man. Like you got Robert Pattinson and then Juliette Binoche, who's like this, very famous French actress, then Andre 3000 from Outcast. Like those are your leads. Oh, that's so weird. I definitely want to watch this movie now and see how crazy it is. All right. And then last question on the rapid fire, which we've done very rapidly. What movie should they never remake?
As in like a good thing or a bad thing?
I guess either, but like what movie you're like, I don't want them to remake it. That's kind of the way we've approached it. Don't remake that movie. It's perfect the way it is.
Oh, yeah.
But however you interpret the question.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, I know it's going to happen at some point, but I reckon they're going to try to remake Back to the Future.
I think that's three for three. I think you've said that. I think Tina said that, and I think Nick might have said that as well.
I think it's coming. And I just don't think we need to do it. Because you know how they work. They find a popular movie in the past, and then they go after it. And then, I mean, it's like, I think they finally got Ghostbusters right with Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think that looks like a really solid movie.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, and I don't think I'll get to see it until it's out on DVD, or Blu-ray, I should say. But my brother-in-law went and saw it, and he goes, if you like the first one, you'll like this. Like, it ties in well, and it does look great. But yeah, Ghostbusters is a perfect example. Like that third movie with with Kristen Wiig and stuff. It's not a terrible movie. Like I watched it, and I think my biggest critique was like, look, it's just not very memorable. Like it just kind of feels like, and like there was not a criticism of the casting or anything like that. It was just like, it's fine. And it would have been,
I like the cast. I didn't like the dialogue or the story.
yeah. To me, it's like, why wouldn't you spin this? Why don't you make this like a tie-in? Why would like instead of being something new, why don't you sequelize it? I remember years ago when I was doing a show called Woodcast with my friend Tom. We were talking about this is before they'd remade it and everything. This was in like 2014 maybe. And I said to him, I said, look, if you ever remake Ghostbusters, if you ever sequelize it again, here's what you do. You get Edgar Wright, the guy who did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and everything. You get him to cast Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, of course, because they're great and everything. And what they are is they're British fans of the original real Ghostbusters. So the events of Ghostbusters took place, but as kids in the 80s, they saw the events in New York and like, we're going to start hunting monsters in Britain. Then you
Yes,
get Martin Freeman as one of your Ghostbusters. You get Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice of your monster, and you have like Alan Rickman as like the old monster hunter. Alan's before Alan Rickman passed away, and you just do a heavy British cast, and then you can set it like in the woods or the forest, or you can like go to castles and stuff. Like that's how you sequelize Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Which
I think
they
the problem is, I think the problem with the sequel, like remakes, is they try to get the essence of what was great in the first movies, and then they just sort of miss the point. They sort of they grab the shell, not the point of it.
Yeah, well, like another good example of that is The Mummy, with Tom Cruise, which, by the way, is not an awful movie. It's just boring. Like I remember, I don't know if you watched it or not, because they're like, we're going to launch a whole universe off this, and I watched The Mummy, because I'll give everything a chance. And I remember sitting there, I'm like, the whole time, Tom Cruise his character is proving to everyone that he's not old. Like he's a guy in his 50s. He's like, I'm not that old. I'm handsome. I'm fast. And I'm like, okay. So it's just Mission Impossible. But what if you took Tom Cruise and you play? He is this archaeologist or whatever. I can't remember what he was in the movie. And instead of trying to prove to everyone how young he is, what if you have this older guy who is now kind of burdened with immortality? And like, does he want to become the mummy because he's so vain that now he's like, well, I could just stop aging? Or does he accept the fact that he is older and like turn it away? Like to me, I'm like that, like kind of like Skyfall. Like if anyone who's seen Skyfall, like how James Bond's like, I'm too old to be a spy. Like that to me is way more interesting than like just doing the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Mummy is a good example of that as well. There are very few. I think there are very few.
Jumanji worked.
Oh, I love those Jumanji films. They are perfect popcorn movies to me. They can make like as long as they keep the quality they're doing, and like again, like they're not gold standard movies. They're just really fun. As long as they're as fun as they have been, make 10 more of them. I don't care. Like that last one with Aquafina, how she's pretending to be Danny DeVito, had me crying with laughter. She's so good.
Yeah. Because I think they didn't copy it. They just took the theme and made it its own thing. Like they just took what was great about the thing and gave it a new sort of coat. Yes.
Look, I'll say something controversial. I actually think they're better than the original one. Like the original one has Robin Williams, who's fantastic, and you can never replace Robin Williams. But they were limited by what they had. Throwing everyone inside the game and playing with the jungle, that to me is way more interesting and way more fun. You can do so many more things, and it's such a solid cast. Like I'd never liked Kevin Hart until I saw Jumanji. I was like, you know what? All right, he's good in this. I like him. The Rock is like a great leading man. Jack Black, obviously, getting to be a girl in the second. I think it was the first movie or the second movie gets to be a girl. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like for the most part, like very few remakes work. The only exception seems to be superhero films for the most part. Like Batman seems to be pretty flawless. Doesn't matter like how many times you do Batman, it seems to work. Spider-Man, same thing. Like.
But there's like caveats to that though. It's like the only reason why Tom Holland's one worked is because they decided to skip the origin story and sort of spin it in a new way. I mean, they did a good job with everything else, but I don't know if I can hear the Batman origin story again. Like,
yeah, well, and that was when I first saw Batman vs Superman. I've talked about this before. The first time I watched that movie, I hated it. I was like, what is this? I just didn't get it. And I remember like the opening of that movie is his parents dying and the funeral, I was like, oh, again? Like, I now love that movie, and especially the 3-hour cut. That really works for me. But the first one, I was like, what are we doing? Um, I don't know what we're going to see in this new one. I imagine they're going to have to touch on it in some way, but it sounds like it's going to be a much more younger, reckless, entitled Bruce Wayne, which I'm kind of into because I'm like, I haven't seen that. I haven't like you get a little bit of it in Batman Begins, which incidentally is my favorite Nolan Batman film, but this seems like we can get a lot more into that. Um, nice one, but you're absolutely right. Like remakes for the most part, if they're cashing in, they don't work. If it's someone who loved that movie as a kid, or like they adore, like they really appreciate that art, it tends to work a bit better. Um, nice one. We'll probably those are all my questions. Before we go, we should do some plugs. So I don't know how much you're allowed to say about Junklands, but obviously that's a game you're working on for a while. How's all that going? Can you give the listeners a sneak peek, or is it all a bit too in development at the moment?
It's an action adventure game that follows Ra, a sort of cardboard hero that sort of comes across the green orb in like this junk sort of world. So it's all themed around like rubbish and all that sort of stuff. And we're sort of trying to like it's about the environment in a way. That's as much as I'll say. And it has like these it's based on exploring the world a lot. So it has Metroidvania type abilities and elements that we're sort of like playing around with. And we want to tell an interesting story and have a really fun game around exploration and adventure.
It looks great. And I've been a little bit more privy, and that's why I was like, you just say what you want to say because I know quite a bit more about it, and I won't say anything because I want to leave it for the release so people can enjoy it for themselves. But it's gorgeous. Like it looks great, and that's something that's consistent through your work. Like for those who haven't played any of Josh's games, there's another one on Steam right now called Nom Nom Apocalypse, which is basically it's a post-apocalyptic world and all that's left are junk food monsters who are being fought by different restaurateurs with different like their guns are like sauce canisters and microwaves and things like that. And it's great. Like I love it, and it's got a real 1950s horror style. It's gorgeous, and you never really kind of toot your own horn. You're very very modest, but Josh, I would say, does the majority of all the work on the game. So like I know you've got help on this one. You had some help on that, but like all the art style is you. Most of the programming seems to be you. Like anything that's not done by you comes under instruction of you. Like you have almost complete creative control, which is really really rare in that industry to be able to do that and to be able to do that full time as well. It's very very cool.
I would say now though that I'm sitting back a little bit. I got like people are doing more work for me. I mean, in the best way possible. I'm not doing nothing, but it's been good to be able to just focus on developing the world rather than having to make every element. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I got to play Nom Nom for the first time, or when it had launched. I remember I came over because we were meant to go on a flight, and we're going to wrap up the show because we have been going for a while. But I'll tell this story. We were meant to go to Sydney because Penn and Teller were coming, and then the show got cancelled because Teller broke his back or something. And we're like, oh, we'll just fly to Sydney anyway. We'll go hang out in Sydney for a night or whatever, and we'll come back. And then our flight got grounded because of the bushfires. And so you're like, look, it worked out all right because Nom Nom launches today. So you're like, you can come over, but I'm going on my phone for about an hour. And I came over, and you're just like tweeting and like releasing interviews with bloody disgusting and stuff. It was very hectic, and I think Beck was doing promotional stuff as well. Like you were both running around, which I loved because I was like, this is cool. Like this is something that you built from the ground up, and like you're getting the word out. Just the two of with your phones in your hand, like trying to keep the house in order while you're getting. It was very very exciting. So I loved that first game, and if people haven't,
it's like for me, it's like the first finished game. It's got a lot of rough edges. I think it was like I definitely feel like it was a learning sort of piece for me.
It's one of those ones where like I think it's very easy to judge because people like we're in such an saturated market now where like there's a million games out all the time. So like you just look at something and be like, all right, well it's fine, but it's not Last of Us or something. But at the same time, like if you know the story behind it, which I do, which is how few people are involved and how hard you worked on and what you went through to get that game to be made. So like, and that's your story, and you can tell that in your own time. But like, because it's a long story, it's a great story, but I don't want to condense it and sell you short. The amount of work and effort went into that, to see that finished product. If anyone knew what went into it, they'd be like, okay, this game is really good. Like, this guy did it all by himself pretty much. And I love the. Go on, sorry.
In general, it's like, I think it's like a thing to finish something in the industry. Just being able to, I mean, any industry, being able to finish something on an amateur level is like just like a monumental effort. So that's what I was happy with, just being able to finish something and see through the other side.
And not just finish it, but get it out there, like distribute it. That's because that's the next step. Like even writers and stuff, and I fancy myself a little bit of a writer, but I've written and finished dozens of things, but I've never taken that next step. I've never even self-published on Amazon or whatever. Like, I think that's a really hard step to do, because you finish it and you're like, great, it's done. I've completed it. Am I ready for the world to see this now? And if so, is anyone going to care? Like, and that's, I think, the scary step that no one talks about. But you did that. Like, you finished it and then you put it out there, and people play it, which is great. That's what's about at the end of the day, getting people to play a game. I love the look of Junglelands. I can't wait till we can talk about it more, and we'll definitely have Josh back on to talk about it when it's finished. But I imagine you'll be on before then as well. Tell them where they can find you. What's the Instagram? What's the Twitter?
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, just search for Deadleaf Games.
Excellent. We will definitely have Josh back on very, very soon, because as you can hear, I love talking to him and I love reminiscing about the old days. Yes. In the meantime, go check out Deadleaf Games on all the socials. Have a look at the Junglelands preview. Go throw down a couple of bucks and play Nom Nom, because it's really great fun. Until then, thank you for listening to this week's episode. Thank you to Josh for being our guest. And as we say every week, I was a teenage film snob, but I'm trying to be better. See you next week.
Bye.